Hello there, dear viewers. You're welcome to yet another edition of the program, The Sister Circle. It is a production of Royal Television here in Boya. The Sister Circle comes up every day, every Tuesday, I want to say. It comes up every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. On The Sister Circle, we discuss issues about women. Today, we will be talking about understanding sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out. Understanding sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out. It is our topic today on the Sister Circle. Here with me in the studio are some lovely sisters. Sisters, you're welcome to the Sister Circle.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have Emete Margaret Aten. She is an entrepreneur and a woman leader. We also have Aletano Nuela, coordinator, Child Lead Africa. So for about 45 minutes, we shall be diagnosing our topic for today, understanding sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out, as well as a woman leader leading a group of persons, including women and men at Balingua Grammar School, Moliko Boya, ex-students. So she'll be sharing with us her experience as a woman leader, or when a woman was the leader, how successful the ex-student union was. My name is Frida Leina. For presentation, you're all welcome to the Sister Circle. You're welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the Sister Circle you're listening to on this darling TV channel. It is Royal Television. We beam live from Boya. Let's start with our first guest, Aletano Nuela. I'm glad to have you on the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You are the coordinator and lead of Child
Africa.
Lead Child Africa.
Yes.
Tell us more about yourself.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I'm called Aletano Nuela, popularly known as Community Baby in the communities that I serve. I work mostly with children, young people in general. We strive to do a lot of child protection. We work in areas of education. We also do a lot of positive parenting with parents and family heads in situations where we feel like children are not being heard. We strive to see a family where children are being heard by their parents, they are being led by their parents correctly, and then we also work a lot in sexual and reproductive health rights concerning young girls and adolescent women.
All right,
thank you very much.
That's Nuela for us. You discover her more in the minutes ahead. Margaret Aten, you are an entrepreneur and a woman leader. Tell us more about yourself.
Thank you very much for having me. For opening your doors for me.
Sure. Yes. Anything for any woman on the Sister Circle.
I'm very grateful. Yes, as a woman leader, as a leadership, we create roles in organization, communities, or government where the influence of decision drive progress and inspire others.
All right. Decision drives progress and inspire others. That is a woman leader talking. So let's dive into our topic for today, Nuela. We are talking about understanding sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out. Let's start by asking ourselves what sexual and gender-based violence is and how is it manifested here in Cameroon? How does it manifest? Because it's ongoing every day.
All right, thank you very much. First of all, sexual and gender-based violence, this is any violent action that is perpetrated towards anyone because of their sex or their gender. First of all, people most of the time they misinterpret the difference between gender and sex.
Exactly.
Now, these are socially construed rules and responsibilities that are given to you based on your sex. Your sex is given to you biologically, while the gender is given to you based on your society or work or whatever community you find yourself. For example, in Cameroon, women have different gender roles or descriptions as regards to people who are in the Western world or in America.
Good.
So when it comes to sexual and gender-based violence, this is violence that is perpetrated to you because you're either a woman or a man. And I'm stating the fact that because of you're either a woman or a man, because most of the times we always think it happens only to women.
To women, yeah.
Yes.
Even on men too.
Exactly. So we need to create the balance where men are able to understand that they are also being victims or survivors of this particular action that could be done on them wherever they find themselves. So yes, basically that's what sexual gender-based violence is. And of course in Cameroon it happens it happens a lot of times,
almost on a daily basis.
Exactly. In families, like in your family house, in schools, in churches. In fact, you'll find out that it's really weird the kind of places that you see that gender-based violence can be done. Most of the times when we talk about this, we tell people that it happens even in churches, and they're like, no, it does not happen in churches. But of course, it does happen.
Yeah.
Because we've had so many cases of people coming to open up to us and are telling us things that are happening in the churches.
Yes.
And then also it happens in schools.
A church where they consider it to be a safe space.
You understand?
Yet stories like that come.
Exactly. And anyways, we'll talk about that.
A discussion for another day.
Yes.
All right. So it's manifested every day in the communities, in churches. You are the community baby. I know you have seen things, you've heard things too. You share with us in the course of the program. Right. But to tell our listeners that if they want to contribute on the program, the number you find on your screen, send us a text message. Tell us why survivors don't speak out. That is our focus on the Sister Circle today. Sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out. That is what we are focusing on today. So Noella, how does sexual and gender-based violence affect survivors mentally, emotionally, and physically?
Oh, thank you very much for that particular question, because most of the time people think that it doesn't have as much impact as we claim it has on survivors. But the truth is, this particular form of violence impacts survivors in worse ways than you ever imagined. It impacts them, first of all, physical. Let's talk about the physical health, the health issues that we see. A survivor comes to the hospital and then she's diagnosed of HIV and AIDS.
You can imagine.
Yes, she didn't want it, but that's the result of whatever.
Maybe rape and
you get
exactly.
It. Then most times, because of the physical violence that comes as a result of it, some of them have bruises, they have wounds, they have deformities. There are so many people. Okay. For example, we had a case that came up to us, and this girl was raped, but before being raped, she was brutally beaten and she was deformed. As in, she was a very, when you see the before and the after pictures, you know the difference. The difference is clear. So this girl, she was raped, because the case is ongoing even. She was raped, but the aftermath of that particular experience to not only live with her mentally, but you also see it physically, because she had her deformity, and then she had a lot of STIs as a result of that. So
physical deformity, health deformity,
psychological, everything,
emotional, exactly.
And then you start asking yourself why survivors want to commit suicide. We're going to get there. Then now you come to the mental aspect of it. You see people are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder,
exactly,
because of what they have gone through as survivors. And then you're like, is it not just that small action?
They call it small action.
Yes, but
then,
mind you, when I was in high school, I had a mate of mine. I met her in Form 3. And when I left Form 3 and wrote the advanced level, she was still in Form 3.
Oh, she was not progressing.
Going back to get the reason why she was left in that particular situation, realized that she was raped multiple times by her uncle.
Oh,
and then
in the family.
And then her mother decided to turn a blind eye on
what was happening, because she doesn't want to report the uncle.
It was a repeated process. So that trauma kept her in that particular level that she was. Imagine, I met her in Form 3. After writing her advanced level, she was still
went to Form 4.
Yes.
Form 5, lower state of passing. 4 years after.
So you can imagine. So in as much as we try to underlook the impact of sexual and gender-based violence on people, the impacts are dire, and there are things that are supposed to call our attention.
Yes.
So that's just a little aspect of the social aspect of it.
Yes.
That's just a little aspect of it. Now when it comes to how they're able to interact with people, you see people, most of the times people think that they are introverts, but they are not born introverts. It's just because of the things that they have faced. the trauma
things that they have gone
had.
through.
Exactly. That makes them take a very wide step all the way to the back, because they don't see themselves fit as to be able to interact with the community that they are supposed to be interacting freely with.
Exactly.
And that is a consequence of sometimes these underlining issues,
mental issues,
that we don't want to
emotional,
talk about.
physical, and the like.
Issues that we think that are not important, but that
of which is killing the person.
You get that's the extent to which people are able to suffer on these particular issues that we think
comes
most
to gender-based violence
is minimal.
All right, Noella, thank you so much for all the insights. Let's go over to Margaret. Noella has been talking. Let me also get you talk. As a woman leader, as an entrepreneur, I know you've also seen things in communities. So we are talking about the fact that you lead, and in the course of you leading, you lead men, you lead women. Have you come across cases of gender-based violence within your circle of influence?
Not really, but I've heard about them.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard about them severally, where a child is being raped by the brother in the house, not really the biological brother, but a relation that is living with them. Yes, and it was like the relation told the child, if you make mention of any of these things, know that you are gone.
That's the thing.
Yes, so
that frightens the child already.
Yes, so the child now was so afraid to tell the parent, and that child did not talk. But whenever the uncle called the child will be afraid to come.
Okay.
So they started doing findings, and they come to discover that is what
has been happening.
Yes, so
but the child could not speak up.
Yes, the child could not speak up because of the threats
that the uncle or the brother gave to her.
Yes, so at the end of the day, that uncle was forced to leave that house, even though the child was taken to the hospital and they tried to do some finding, but it was not really bad because it has been going on for about 2-3. He has done that for about 2-3 times. Yes.
All right, let's take your days when you were in school. Did you face some?
No,
not quite.
I did not.
All right, I'm saying so because I know you are a woman leader and you are a graduate of Bilingual Grammar School Moliko Boya, and you guys have your anniversary this weekend here in Boya. And what is it all about, Big C95, and how did you all reunite after these years?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Big C95 is an ex-student association, Bilingual Grammar School ex-student association. Yes, we met 30 years ago. We started in 1995, in September 1995 at Bilingual Grammar School. As young as we were, yeah, the bond grew in a very strong way. The friendship became stronger. That is our roots.
Yes.
And that is where we started. And we became a very big family. 7 years after, we separated, and 12 years again, we came together by forming the ex-student association, Bilingual Grammar School ex-student association, the class 1995.
You guys had more women there or men?
More women than men.
That is where I'm going to. Because this is the sister circle, we talk issues about women. In your days in school, were you any of the prefects?
No,
to an extent that you are the woman leader now.
I wasn't.
So what are you leading now, 12 years after you've decided to create the association?
Organization.
What role do you play in your class group?
Presently, I am the treasurer.
That is it. We always enjoy when they give money to women. You know why? Because women are trusted. Okay, we'll get to you. We'll talk more about the upcoming gathering and the fact that you are the treasurer, a woman, how you intend to manage the money that is being contributed for the event. Back to you, Noella. What are some common myths about sexual gender-based violence that need to be debunked, or we need to debunk on a daily basis?
That happens only to women.
One. Men too, they face it as sexual and gender-based violence. Men, you guys also experience it. So it's not a woman's thing. That's a myth.
It's a community thing.
Okay.
I wanted to start with that particular point because yesterday a case reached out to us, and it was a guy, it was a child, a male child, a 9-year-old that was being violated by his aunt, sorry. Yes.
And the aunt should be in her teens or maybe older. In maybe her early 20s or so.
Yes.
So anyway, let's not get into that discussion for another day.
So when I just heard the question, I'm like, no, let me sit on this point, because
Exactly.
most of the times when we talk about gender-based violence, sexual gender-based violence, and women empowerment, the men are always telling us that why do we always leave them behind?
Yes.
Yes, this is me reaching out to you men, saying that men are also survivors or victims of sexual and gender-based violence, and it's high time you guys speak out if you see that you're being violated. Another myth that I would like to debunk is a woman's dressing, how she is dressed.
Okay.
A woman's dressing has nothing to do with her or you raping her.
Yes.
Yes, it is the rapist that is the issue, not the woman.
Not the
way
woman,
she's dressed.
exactly.
Because if you come to me and tell me that, oh, she was half naked, and I will ask you that our Muslim sisters that are well covered, why are they still
being raped in some cases?
Yes. So a woman's dressing should never be an excuse for you to assault her or for you to sexually harass her.
Exactly.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse to that. And also, sexual gender-based violence is not a family issue.
Okay.
Why do I say this? Most of the times, this is why it dies down. You come as a mother or as a father and you find out that your daughter is being sexually harassed by her cousin or by her brother. And because you think it's a family issue, you decide to cool it down.
Yeah.
You let it die down. And I would say it is not a family issue.
Okay.
Which is why at Late Child Africa, we strive to make community members and family members believe that we are trusted adults.
Right.
You come to us with an issue and we sit down as we give you the ears that your parents or your uncles could not give you.
Yeah,
Yes.
listen to
We
them.
listen to you, we trust you, we believe you, we believe what you are saying. An issue that I have with most family members is your child comes to you and complains that she is being harassed by her brother, her cousin, your brother,
That's
your
the
neighbor, and then you don't believe her, you don't trust her.
Yes, you don't believe her words.
Yes, you don't
Don't
believe her.
lie about your uncle. Stop
You-
that thing.
you
Don't say it.
understand?
Nobody should hear that.
Yes.
You're there petting it and pining,
then
and
you
it's
see that
happening in the house.
It happens, and then it finally closes up, and then it dies down in the family setting. The child has no justice. The child is not free. The child is not taken to a space where she is able to even breathe. Yes, and just think about her life. You keep her in that particular sphere where she keeps getting violated every time. And then when she grows up, you tend to ask her that, but why you there so? Yeah, friend there so why you
Why you
so?
there on us?
You
So what
understand?
trauma did it for your life?
Exactly.
all
And then
through.
because you thought it was a family issue, you decided to protect your family name, and then you left
you kill
her.
the child. The child is
Exactly.
dying.
Yes. And then most of the times, there's this particular thing that they always say that people who are, let me say, sex workers, because their work is them being sex workers, they are supposed to be violated. As in, because you think that she's a sex worker,
you can violate her.
You understand?
You cannot go.
Yes. Because she's a sex
That's
worker.
something we need to debunk.
You understand?
Yes.
As in, why do you think that because she's a sex worker, she needs to be violated?
As in, she doesn't have a right to accept when to have,
Thank you for understanding my point.
Exactly. So that's something we need to debunk. Is there another myth, or we go straight to barriers and speaking out?
Let's go straight to barriers and speaking out.
All right, Noella, thank you so much for that. She was giving us some myths when it comes to sexual and gender-based violence. And now I want to talk a little bit about barriers to speaking out. They catch your breath a little bit. Let me go back to Margaret. Margaret is a woman leader. She is an entrepreneur leading a group of persons, and particularly the fact that they are coming together this weekend to celebrate friendship over 30 years. So you people are meeting in Boya this weekend to celebrate 30 years of friendship. What are some of the activities you've earmarked? I want relaxing activities that will make the woman to relax. You know, you have busy schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, women,
Yeah.
they go to their farms, they go to work, they do their businesses. So meeting all classmates has some memories that they will rekindle. So what are some of the activities we are planning for this weekend?
Right, yeah. The class of 95, we are going to shake the nation.
Women will shake.
Yes.
Yes.
Our venue is the Parliamentarian Flats.
Okay.
Yes, so we'll begin on Friday. Friday morning, we'll meet at the regional hospital in Boya, precisely the dialysis center, where we'll visit the sick, the
That is
patients,
a good one.
and we'll offer some gifts to them.
Okay.
Then from there, we'll move down to our alma mater,
school
Yes,
compound.
the school compound, where we'll have a talk with the Form 4 students.
Okay.
From there,
Which day is that? Friday?
that's Friday.
Friday, okay.
Yes. After which we'll have a gala match with the staffs of Bilingual Grammar School.
Okay. All right.
And on Saturday in the morning we'll have sports, we'll have swimming. From there we'll have a GA deliberation, and after the GA deliberation at 7 p.m. we'll have a gala.
Okay.
Fundraising gala. Yes, our aim is to give back to our alma mater.
Very important.
And also to the Boya community.
Okay.
Yes, so we'll be giving back through the wall of academic fame, benches, scholarships, renovation of toilets, yes, and all of that.
It's a good plan.
And then also we are open for
support.
No, not really support.
Think and tell us. You're open for collaboration, partnership.
Partnership, yeah, with other badges and lovers of Dixie.
All right, because particularly this class is the class of 95 carrying out these activities. You catch your breath. Let me go back to Nuela, where I want us to start talking about barriers to speaking out. And a quick reminder to our listeners that if you're interested, obviously you're interested, please contribute on the program by telling us why survivors of gender-based violence don't speak out. What do you think can be the reason that they don't speak out? Well, has given us some reason: protecting the family name, not exposing the family, you'll be ashamed, and all of that and all of that. What do you think is a reason why survivors of gender-based violence don't speak out? And now let's talk barriers to speaking out. Why do survivors often silent about their experiences? Because it's traumatic.
Yeah, there's so many reasons.
Yes.
So many reasons to why. First of all, I would like to start with the fact that their families will not believe them.
Yes.
Yes. Especially if in your family you're that outgoing kind of child. Yes. Yeah, generally the kind of person that likes to go out, maybe you party a lot, you have a lot of friends. And then you just think that maybe if you come to tell your mom or your dad that you've been violated, to be like, now you go find out.
Now you go find out.
Yes.
You
understand?
That's the thing.
So
shaming the child.
Yes.
That's the thing.
So it makes a lot of people get into their shell of not wanting to speak out about things that have happened to them, which is why we did a lot with positive parenting.
Yes.
No matter how you think that your child is bad, just calm down and listen to what she has to say and just believe her.
Exactly.
It wouldn't cost you a lot to take her to the hospital to check her if
properly
she has been violated or not. Yes. And then another issue that acts like a barrier is the fact that the person that is violating her is the person that is your helper, as in financially, they're the people that are helping the family.
Yes. Maybe this uncle is the one providing daily bread, paying the child's school fees, and he's doing that. You're imagining that if I stop this, if I report this, this one will cut it out.
Exactly. And this takes me to a case that we had, because last week Wednesday we went to school. We are carrying an activity in school where we talk about sexual gender-based violence using films.
Yes.
So we use films as an entry point to just draw the students' attention to want to discuss about this particular issue. And a young girl opened up, and then she was like, "Auntie, my uncle said that he's touching me."
Kind of.
I'm like, "Touching you?" So she was shy. She didn't want to say.
You already understood.
Yes, like she's touching me. I'm like, okay. I don't want to smile about it because it's something to frown about.
Yes.
I'm like, have you told your aunt about it? The aunt in the house. She's like, she has told her about 2 weeks ago, but she did not say anything.
You noted it.
Excuse me. And then she was crying, and then she was opening up, and I'm like,
you need to follow this case. Asha.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a cold.
It's okay.
And then that alone was a call for concern. And then another issue why people don't open up is the fact that you think that if you take it to court, it's going to be too long in the process. As in, you carry the case to court, then they'll adjourn the matter.
And be pushing. They don't speak up for all of that. It is the Sister Circle you're listening to. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back to continue barriers to speaking out.
So sorry.
Help shape the future of your favorite TV station. Don't just watch. Interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality.
Dear viewers, we are 30 minutes into the program and you're listening to the Sister Circle on Royal Television. Today, we are talking about sexual and gender-based violence and why survivors don't speak out. We have our guests here in the studio. They are still here. Aletano Nuela. She is the coordinator of Lead Child Africa. And we have an entrepreneur and a woman leader, Margaret Aten. So we are talking about it, and before the break, we're talking about the fact that survivors don't speak out. Why? Contribute by texting us on the numbers you find on your screen. We have some text messages here. We'll share them with you in the minutes ahead. But for now, we continue with our guest in the studio. Let me go over to Margaret. Margaret, yes? Just tell us briefly why you think some survivors don't speak out. They don't give us experiences that they have been violated or not.
Yeah, the very first one I know is because of the threats.
Yes.
Yes, the threatening.
The case you shared some minutes ago.
Very seriously. Yeah, so if you say it, I will do this and that to you. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why they don't even speak out.
Because of threats.
Because of threats.
All right.
Yes, that's the main reason.
The main reason. Yeah. Thank you so much, Margaret. So, Noella, can we say threat and shame is the same reason why survivors don't speak out?
Yes, I would buy to the point that threats do make some survivors not speak out.
And they are ashamed to also speak out.
And they are ashamed to speak out because they fear judgment. But in the long run, we get to understand that most survivors will not always tell you to keep your mind based on the threats that you receive, because it's just a tool for them to keep you low and to just keep trampling upon your intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes, because they understand that if they threaten you, if they say, if you talk I will beat you, or
that kind of,
yes, you just shrink,
get back
and
into
then you allow them to do whatever they want to do. Most of the times we tell survivors that do not base your mind on whatever they say. They're just trying to play on your intelligence. And then another reason why they don't speak out is because we already understand that because of our family settings, some people will not be able to speak out. But then, if you cannot speak out to the family, who do you run to?
Exactly.
Some survivors don't know where to go to. Like, if I'm going through that, who should I
cannot talk to my family. Who else should I go to?
Some people don't know the right.
That's a barrier.
The right means to go and talk about these things too. So,
all right. We also have stigma, we have culture or fear of retaliation. Can we say these are some contributing factors to survivors not to speak out? I'm sure there are some contributing factors for survivors not to speak out. Noella is taking her time to give us a response to that.
Can you just go over the question again, please?
Yes, I'm saying that culture, stigma, and fear have been identified as some factors why survivors don't speak out.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very true. If you look at our African culture, our Cameroonian culture, since we're in Cameroon, you realize that most of the times the women often stay at the back.
Yes,
their voices are always silent. In fact, I think that in Africa we believe that authority for an African man is you as a woman staying quiet or being silent on certain issues. That's what they think authority is. And all of this boils down to the masculinities that we have as in our culture.
In our cultural settings.
Yes. Which is why most of the times we preach a lot of positive masculinity Nobody is dragging the fact that you're the head of the family with you. No,
Yes.
we're not dragging it with you. We're just saying that there are some things that women have a fit side or a sit side to. Yes, of course we're emotional. We're not refusing that we are emotional, but
Yes.
there are also some things that because of our emotions we're able to pick out. I don't want to say sense or use a kind of spiritual term, but because of our emotional character, we're able to pick out some certain signals, and because of these signals that we're able to pick out, that is why we are able to receive a wealth of children coming to us to talk to us about certain things.
Can talk more to a woman than a man.
Yes, because of our emotional
Nature.
aspect. Yes, that's why people would, if okay, in my cycle, people come to me more to talk about certain issues because they feel that I'm able to resonate with them emotionally, which is why they might not be able to go out.
Very common with most women around.
You understand?
Yes.
So these things, all of these things are what we try to talk about when we're talking about positive masculinity, when we are begging men to do the he for she.
Yes.
As in work with us women to do this.
The right thing.
We agree that the men most of the times are the leaders.
Yes,
but
they are the
as
head.
much as you're the leaders, carry along
The women.
when you're going forward with all of these laws or the norms that you're putting in place. Which is why we always say that in cultural aspects, if a child is violated and she wants to maybe a man to talk to the man and all of that, don't shove it.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't be shy. Don't feel as though this is a woman's talk.
Yeah, don't say no. Come to
do
your
what
mommy.
you can say. Yes.
Because
or come to your auntie.
They always say no. Come to your mommy, no. Come to your auntie, no. Come to your big sister, no. And that brings me to the point where most men do not even know about menstruation and menstrual hygiene.
Exactly.
Management, which is why we also try to incorporate it when we are teaching the girls. We're always teaching the boys. Okay, if you find a girl in this situation,
do like this,
so that you can be able to.
It can be your sister, it can be your wife, it can be any person around you. Exactly.
And imagine that you're a man and your wife travels and she leaves you at home with your five daughters and all of them are menstruating.
How will you manage it?
You understand?
So you need that education.
Yes. So in as much as culture and all of that has a lot of, we understand that the men most of the times are the ones sitting on those chiefs
leading positions. So they need to be schooled on this.
They need to be schooled on all of this. And what are you supposed to do in case you have someone running to you with this particular issue?
Exactly. Noella, thank you so much for the insight. We have some minutes to be together again on the program, but I want us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about support and pathways, the way forward to combating sexual and gender-based violence. We'll be right back. Dear viewers, you're welcome to the last segment of the Sister Circle today, where we are talking about sexual and gender-based violence. And we have our guests, they are still here, Noella and Margaret. Nuella is a coordinator. Margaret too is a woman leader and an entrepreneur. She's leading a group of people, men and women alike, as they come together as Big C X students, and they have an event this weekend here in Boya. So Margaret, before we had a break, you talked about the different activities which are which are wonderful, I'll say. So BGS Moliko is a very big school. Have you succeeded in bringing together your classmates? And how are you guys ready to welcome new ones? Are you with the woman? Is it mommy? Then I told him, mommy, they accommodate people. Why you want to gather these people then as soon as the council?
No, we haven't succeeded. It's not easy to bring together everybody, because ever since we separated, we've never seen some.
Okay.
Yes, and then so many people are out of Cameroon, even though we have diaspora members.
Good.
Yes, but our doors are open for welcoming new members.
They should be the batch of 95.
95.
All
95.
Right. All right, thank you so much. Before we close the program, you give a shout out to your classmates in the course of the program. But then I want to talk a little bit about gender-based violence. What support systems, according to you, are needed in Cameroon to help GBV survivors? How can they be supported here in Cameroon? Persons who've been violated.
Through finance.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know some people are being violated because
you're the treasurer, that's why you're calling money.
But I know that because of finance, somebody can be violated and the person will not be able to go and be alone because of financial independence. Yes, so I know that that's one of the support that they can give them, finance.
Okay. So Nuella, let's talk about the support system. How can GBV survivors be supported in Cameroon? We're talking about support and pathway forward to solving this problem.
Okay, so before I get to the finance, which is used for empowerment, I'll want to talk about the medical aspect of it.
Good.
The fact that most young girls or boys, men, women that are being violated are not able to get adequate attention, medical attention, because of lack of finances. I don't know if there's a way that the health sector could be able to make this these preliminary kits that are needed to test the survivors free of charge for them. For example, if a young girl runs to a hospital, let's say the regional hospital, and she says that she has been violated, if there is a way that the kits that will be used to do the checkup, to test her, to get the sperms, to check if she has been able to get any STIs, if they could be given free of charge, it's going to go a very long way to motivate many of them to come to the hospital.
Exactly.
Another aspect is the legal assistance aspect. Most of the times, this one goes to the parents. They always cry out that, oh, it's so expensive, taking the case to court, getting counsels or lawyers for them to be able to get the case and then run with the case throughout the session until when they are able to get the verdict from the judge. They say it's very expensive. But again, I think we have a couple of lawyers in Cameroon that take these cases pro bono.
Yeah,
especially if they take the cases pro bono. And then another barrier would also be then the financial aspect of it.
Like Margaret said.
Yes, where some ladies or some women, like I earlier said, some of the people who value them as their destiny helpers in quotes.
Exactly.
Are the ones that are having the finances to send them to school, to help them to get work and all of that. But if there's a way that we can get more hands on deck to empower these women, teach them skills that they can use to get money, not just giving them money, because I've had cases where we gave out money to young women that said that they were survivors,
for the
purposes. So what we started doing was to teach you the skill, and then we use the money, or we give you the money, we take you to the market with the money,
like
we buy the things with you in the market.
As in you want to start frying puff and beans.
You get, we'll buy everything for you. If you say no, you have a container to do your hairdressing, we'll go and get that container with you. Just make sure that you use the money for that particular purpose. Yes. And then another place is if we can get more safe spaces.
Yes, to talk about it.
Yes.
So good.
Yes, if we can have like sessions like this, other TV stations could be able to copy this program
Cycle.
and just keep getting people talk about it. Why not even host some survivors to share their stories?
Exactly.
And then just see how to motivate other survivors that are hiding in their
For them
shadows
to feel free
and no
to
one.
share their stories
Yes.
such that the practice can be reduced
Yes,
in
exactly.
communities.
Yes.
So how can communities, families, and men be allies in preventing gender-based violence?
Let me start with
And
the men.
supporting.
Let me start with men.
Yes. Start with the men.
So men can be allies because I personally believe that there's we need to work in synergy, like men and women work in synergy to get a common good.
Yes.
Yes, over the a long period of time, women have been the one speaking out, especially when it concerns sexual and gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Yes, women have been the one speaking out. But I think that if we can get men to also spearhead these conversations, it's going to paint an image to even the people that perpetrate it.
Yes.
Which most of the times also are men. Yes.
Majority of the cases.
Yes, because if a fellow man is hearing his fellow man talking condemning, yes, that like no, it is not.
He will not do it.
He's not going to do it. And then for communities, yes, I'm a community baby.
Yeah.
I believe that communities have a very big role.
Yes.
Personally, I was raised up by so many people, which is why I call myself community baby, because a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers had their hands on raising me up, and I've turned out this way. I mean, I'm not bad. Yes. Yes. I'm not bad.
Speaking for community.
Yes. So I think that the community has a very big role, especially if you are in that community where you are in a house, you are being violated, and you know that if you run to the community head, they are going to have your back. It's going to take a very good turn on for you as a survivor, because most of the times, okay, let me quote this case. It happened in Street 2.
Yes, yeah, in Boya.
Yes, yeah, in Boya. That a man was staying in the house with a woman and her child. That the man was the woman's boyfriend, or they're not married.
Okay.
The woman's
and
boyfriend.
That child is not his child.
And the child is not his child, it's the woman's child. And the man was violating the child.
How old can the child be?
The child was 13.
13?
Yes.
Where?
And then the child runs to the neighbor, and the neighbor that is calling me to tell me about the case.
And maybe she must have told her mother.
She told her mother, and her mother refused to. My boyfriend does not know for you. Like the woman supported in front of the child, and then the man was like, "I'll show you Pepe." Yes. So you can imagine. So that in that kind of community where there is a quarter head, the best scenario would have been for the child to run to the quarter head to explain the issue to the quarter head.
Yes.
And then if they have these committees in the community where they are able to handle these cases, it wouldn't have taken the turn in which it took, because finally the child ran out of the house.
Yeah, the child would have spoken to an aunt.
You understand?
Yes, the mother's friend. There will be somebody who would have denounced the act.
You understand?
Completely.
So if we are able to, in our communities, create, this one is to the quarter heads, community leaders. Yes, if they can create committees in their communities that handle this particular case, that means before it even goes to the hands of the police,
they've solved it
at the level of the community. It's going to take a very good turn for us. It's going to reduce the work that most organizations really have, because we'll be like, go to quarter head will handle them.
We'll handle them, and it's help. It will help.
Yeah.
The quarter heads are getting us, and obviously we look forward to them implementing these. What steps can listeners take if they are experiencing or witnessing gender-based violence? We are getting to the close of the program.
Okay, so for listeners
and viewers,
reach out to Royal TV.
Yes.
Reach out to Royal TV. I'll leave an image, a document here.
Okay.
It's a hotline.
Sure.
Yes, for survivors or victims. You call the number. The hotline is able to link you to. It's able to refer you. Yes. To organizations, to the legal department. Even the hotline will even be able to refer you to the gender desk at the police station.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to.
I'm sure you leave it.
To leave it.
So if you have cases of this nature, you get to Royal Television. Yeah. We have the hotline. We'll share with you then we'll solve a community problem.
Exactly.
Aletano Noella, thank you so much. You're not going yet.
Okay.
You're going to say something?
No.
You're not going. Let me get to Margaret.
All right.
You know, Margaret is a woman leader, an entrepreneur, gathering a good number of ex-students this weekend here in Boya for an event. I want you to give a shout out to some of your classmates in the likes of Promise Akanti and the others.
All right, I would like to give a big thank you to Big C Class 95. Yes, I want to praise them and thank them for their work. I really appreciate for all what they have been doing, and also they do that and they get back to their alma mater.
Good.
I also want to thank Lady P, our PopSec, who made everything possible to see that I am here today to send Big C95 on air.
As a woman, for that matter.
So we are going places.
Yes,
Big C95.
Going places and doing things. Thank you so much, Margaret Atem. She is the treasurer of Big C95 and a woman on the ground leading this big come together built for Boya this weekend. Noella, before we go, your last word to our beautiful listeners and viewers.
Okay, my last words are going to be: men do get violated. Men, please speak out. And if you are not a man, you are a woman, you're a young lady, you're a child, and you are being violated, and you think that your family will not be able to listen to you, please kindly reach out to Royal Television. They're going to give you the toll-free number. You can call and reach out to us. We'll be here to listen to whatever you have to say. We'll be here to believe you. You can trust us, and also believe that we'll also keep your story confidential. We're not going to share your exactly. We'll not talk about we'll not call your name. We're not going to call nothing
about you.
And trust that whatever we are sharing here as a story, the survivors permitted us to share their story, to use their story as a trailblazer or as a path to inspire other people that will not be able to speak out freely. So yes, reach out to Royal Television so they can give you the toll-free number. You can get to us anytime.
Thank you so much. And when next you have events with League Child Africa, do well to invite Royal Television such that we come and get first-hand information.
Okay.
The information should not pass through Noella before getting to us.
Okay.
It should get to us directly. Thank you so much, ladies, for being there on the Sister Circle today.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
On the Sister Circle, it's a safe space. We come on air, we talk issues where we see women leading. Women are challenging, women are facing women-related issues. So the program comes up every Tuesday, 2 to 3 p.m. on Royal Television. Have a lovely day. It is on this note that we say bye-bye on today's edition of the program, The Sister Circle. It has been amazing, where we talked about sexual and gender-based violence. We had our guests right here. We had Aletano Noella, the community baby herself. She was here to tell us more about GBV and sexual issues, amongst others. We also had Margaret Atem, an entrepreneur, a woman leader, a woman in leadership, leading a group of persons such that their mission and vision is realized within a short period of time. Thank you too for being part of the program, The Sister Circle, today. We had a good number of reactions from our listeners. I'll quickly read through some of them, then we say bye-bye from this end. And we're focusing on why survivors don't speak out. A listener, Suzanne, wrote from Tico. Thank you so much for following, Suzanne. Survivors don't speak out because they are afraid and they are ashamed. People will jeer at them. Noella, you get it? They don't speak out because they are afraid, they are ashamed because people will jeer at them. All right. Suzanne, thank you so much for your contribution. Another contribution, dear viewers, came in from Paul. Fortunately, a man is contributing on the program.
So nice.
I like when survivors speak out, but with the nature of our community, they don't speak out just because of fear. Paul says he's writing from our 16. Thank you so much. You like when survivors speak out, but they don't speak out because they are afraid of speaking out and giving out what they have experienced to the public. Thank you so much. Another contribution here from another listener writing, or viewer writing to us from Munya. Thank you so much. I have a lot of experiences I can share when it comes to sexual and gender-based violence, but then I'm afraid to show my face. Okay, it's noted. It's noted. Thank you so much for contributing. We'll save your number. If we need you to show your face, you not show your face. You know, they can blur.
Yeah.
You can blur survivors and still get the story.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. We end here today. We'll come again next week, 2 to 3 p.m. on Royal Television on the program The Sister Circle with another topic. Thank you all for being there on the program. It has been produced technically by David Titango and presented by me, Frida Lena. Thanks so much. Remember to stay healthy and stay safe as a woman. Bye-bye. Catch you next week. Bye.